So I remember, Adam, it was upon this fashion. Bequeathed me by my father's will, but poor 1,000 crowns. And as thou sayest, he charged my brother on his blessing to breed me well. And there begins my sadness. He keeps me rustically at home. Or to speak more properly, stays me here at home unkept. For call you that keeping for a gentleman of my birth that differs not from the stalling of an ox? This is it, Adam, that grieves me. And the spirit of my father, which I think is within me, begins to mutiny at this servitude.
Yonder comes my master, your brother.
Go apart, Adam, and thou shalt hear how he will shake me up.
Now, sir, what make you here?
Nothing. I am not taught to make anything.
What mar you then, sir?
Marry, sir, I am helping you to mar that which God made, a poor unworthy brother of yours with idleness.
Know you where you are, sir?
Oh, sir, very well, here in your orchard.
What, boy? Wilt thou lay hands on me? Villain, let me go, I say.
Spirit of my father grows strong in me, and I will no longer endure it. Therefore, allow me the poor lottery my father left me by testament. With that I will go buy my fortunes.
And what wilt thou do? Beg when that is spent? Well, sir, get you in. You shall have some part of your will. Get you with him, you old dog.
Old dog? Is that my reward? Most true. I have lost my teeth in your service. God be with my old master. He would not have said such a word.
Is it even so? Begin you to grow upon me? I will physic your rankness, and yet give no 1,000 crowns neither. Hold on, Dennis!
Oh, your worship?
Was not Charles, the Duke's wrestler, here to speak with me? Call him in. 'Twill be a good way. And tomorrow, the wrestling is.
Good morrow to you, your worship.
Good, Monsieur Charles. What's the new news at the new court?
The old Duke is banished by his younger brother, the new Duke.
Aye. And as I understand, 3 or 4 loving lords have put themselves into voluntary exile with him. Can you tell if Rosalind, the Duke's daughter, be banished with her father?
Oh no, the Duke's daughter, for her cousin, let's see, for her cousin so loves her that she would have followed her into exile.
Or have died to stay behind her. They were ever from their cradles bred together, and never 2 ladies loved as they do. Where will the old Duke live?
They say he is already in the forest of Arden, and many merry men with him.
Ah, and there they live like the old Robin Hood of England. What, you wrestle tomorrow before the new Duke?
I am given, sir, to understand secretly that your younger brother, Orlando, hath the disposition to come in disguise to wrestle against me. Your brother is but young and tender, and I am loath to foil him.
Charles, I thank thee for thy love to me, which thou shalt find I will most kindly requite. I'll tell thee, Charles, it is the stubbornest young fellow of France, full of ambition, a secret and villainous contriver against me, his natural brother. Therefore, I had as lief thou didst break his neck as his finger.
Oh, if he come tomorrow, I'll give him his payment.
Farewell, good Charles. Now will I stir this gamester. I hope I shall see an end of him. For my soul, yet I know not why, hates nothing more than he. This wrestler shall clear all.
I pray thee, Rosalind, sweet my coz, be merry.
Dear Celia,
Unless you can teach me to forget a banished father, you must not learn me how to remember any extraordinary pleasure.
You know my father hath no child but I, and truly when he dies, thou shalt be his heir. For what he hath taken away from thy father perforce, I will render thee again in affection. Therefore, my sweet Roz, my dear Roz, be merry.
From henceforth I will, coz.
Mistress, you must come away to your father.
Were you made the messenger?
No, by mine honor, but I was bid to come for you.
You'll be whipped for slander one of these days.
Oh, the more pity, when fools may not speak wisely, what wise men do foolishly.
By my troth, thou sayest true. For since the little wit that fools have was silenced, the little foolery that wise men have makes a great show. Ah, here comes Monsieur Lebeau,
Oh, with his mouth full of news.
which he will put on us as pigeons feed their young. Bonjour, Monsieur Lebeau, what's the news?
Dear Princess, you have missed much good wrestling sport. I will tell you the beginning, and if it please your ladyships, you may see the end, for the best is yet to do. And here where you are, they are coming to perform it.
Well, the beginning, that is dead and buried.
There comes an old man and his 3 sons. The eldest of the 3 wrestled with Charles, the Duke's wrestler, which Charles in a moment threw him, broke 3 of his ribs. There's little hope of life in him. So he served the 2nd, and so the 3rd. Yonder they lie. The poor old man, their father, makes pitiful dole of them.
But, what is the sport, monsieur, that the ladies have loved?
That which I told you.
Thus men may grow wiser every day. It is the first time that ever I heard that breaking of ribs was sport for ladies.
Is there any else longs to see this broken music in his sides? Is there yet another dotes upon rib breaking? Shall we see this wrestling, cousin?
Come on, since the youth will not be entreated his own peril on his forwardness. How now, daughter and cousin? Are you crept hither to see the wrestling?
Aye, my liege, so please you give us leave.
You will take little delight in it, I can tell you. In pity of the challenger's youth, I would fain dissuade him. But he will not be entreated. Speak to him, lady. See if you can move him.
Young gentlemen, your spirits are too bold for your years. You've seen cruel proof of this man's strength. Embrace your own safety and give over this attempt.
Do, young sir. Your reputation shall not therefore be misprized. We will make it our suit to the Duke that the wrestling might not go forward.
I beseech you, punish me not with your hard thoughts, wherein I confess be much guilty to deny such fair and excellent ladies anything. But let your fair eyes and gentle wishes go with me to my trial, wherein if I be foiled, there be but one shamed who was never gracious, if killed, one dead who was willing to be so. Only in the world I fill a place which may be better supplied when I have made it empty.
What little strength I have, I would it were with you.
Your heart's desires be with you.
Come, where is this young gallant?
And you mean to mock me after you should not have mocked me before, but come on ways!
No more, no more. How dost thou, Charles?
Oh.
Bear him away. What is thy name, young man?
Orlando, my liege, youngest son of Sir Rowland de Boys.
I would thou hadst been son to some man else. The world esteemed your father honorable, but I did find him still mine enemy. But fare thee well. Thou art a gallant youth. I would thou hadst told me of another father.
Gentle cousin, let us go thank him and encourage him. My father's rough and envious dispositions stick me at heart. Sir, You have well deserved, and if you do keep your promises in love but justly, as you have exceeded all promise, your mistress shall be happy.
Gentleman, wear this for me, one who is out of sorts with fortune, who would give more, but that her hand lacks means. Shall we go, cuz?
Aye, fare ye well, fair gentlemen.
Cannot I say I thank you? My better parts are all thrown down, and that which here stands up, a mere lifeless block.
He calls us back. My pride fell with my fortunes. I'll ask him what he would. Did you call, sir? Sir, you have wrestled well and have overcome more than your enemies.
Will you go, cuz?
Fare you well.
What passion hangs these weights upon my tongue? I cannot speak to her, yet she urged conference. Oh, poor Orlando, thou art overthrown. Or Charles, or something weaker, master.
Good sir, I do in friendship counsel you to leave this place, albeit you have deserved high commendation, true applause, and love. Yet, such is now the Duke's condition that he misconstrues all that you have done.
I thank you, and pray you tell me this. Which of the two is daughter of the Duke that here was at the wrestling?
Neither his daughter, if we judge by manners, but yet indeed the lesser is his daughter. The other is daughter to the banished Duke, and here detained by her usurping uncle to keep his daughter company, whose loves are dearer than the natural bond of sisters. But I can tell you that as of late, this Duke hath taken displeasure against his gentle niece. Sir, fare you well.
Very well. Thus must I, from the smoke into the smother, from tyrant Duke unto a tyrant brother. But heavenly Rosalind.
Why, cousin, why, Rosalind, Cupid have mercy. Not a word.
Not one to throw at a dog.
Come, come, wrestle with thy affections.
They take the part of a better wrestler than myself.
Oh, a good wish upon you. Is it possible, on such a sudden, you should fall into so strong a liking with old Sir Rowland's youngest son?
Well, let me love him for that. And do you love him too? Look, here comes the Duke.
With his eyes full of anger.
Mistress, dispatch you with your safest haste and get you from our court.
Me, uncle?
You cousin! Within these 10 days, if that thou beest found, so near our public court as 20 miles, thou diest for it.
I beseech your grace, let me the knowledge of my fault bear with me.
Thou art thy father's daughter, there's enough.
Well, so was I when your highness took his dukedom. So was I when your highness banished him. Treason is not inherited, my lord.
Dear sovereign, hear me speak.
She is too subtle for thee. And her smoothness, her very silence, and her patience speak to the people, and they pity her. Thou art a fool. She robs thee of thy name. Firm and irrevocable is my doom which I have passed upon her. She is banished.
Pronounce that sentence then on me, my liege. I cannot live out of her company.
You are a fool. You needs provide yourself. If you outstay the time, upon mine honor, and in the greatness of my word, you die.
Oh, my poor Rosalind, whither wilt thou go? Wilt thou change fathers? I would give thee mine. I charge thee, be not thou more grieved than I am.
I have more cause.
Thou hast not, cousin. Prithee be cheerful. Knowest thou not the Duke hath banished me, his daughter?
That he hath not.
No, hath not? Rosalind lacks then the love which teacheth thee that thou and I am one. Say what thou canst, I'll go along with thee.
Whither shall we go?
To seek my uncle in the forest of Arden.
Alas, what danger will it be to us, maids as we are, to travel forth so far? Beauty provoketh thieves sooner than gold.
I'll put myself in poor and mean attire, the like do you, so shall we pass along and never stir assailants.
Were it not better, because that I am more than common tall, that I should suit me all points like a man, and in my heart lie whatever hidden woman's fear there will. We'll have a swashing and a martial outside, like many other mannish cowards have who do outface it with their semblances.
What shall I call thee when thou art a man?
I'll have no worse a name than Jove's own page. Now look, therefore, you call me Ganymede. But what will you be called?
Something that hath a reference to my state. No longer Celia, but Aliena.
But cousin, what if we essayed to steal the clownish fool out of your father's court? Would he not be a comfort to our travels?
He'll go o'er the wide world with me. Leave me alone to woo him. Now, let's away and get our jewels and our wealth. Now go we in content to liberty and not to banishment. Yay!
Now, my co-mates and brothers in exile, hath not old custom made this life more sweet than that of painted pomp? Are not these woods more free from peril than the envious court? Here feel we but the penalty of Adam, the season's difference, as the icy fang and churlish chiding of the winter's wind, which when it bites and blows upon my body even till I shriek with cold, I smile and say, this is no flattery. These are counselors that feelingly persuade me what I am. Sweet are the uses of adversity, and this our life, exempt from public haunt, finds tongues in trees, books in the running brooks, sermons in stone, and good in everything. I would not change it.
Oh, happy is your grace that can translate the stubbornness of fortune into so quiet and sweet a style.
Come, shall we go and kill his venison? And yet it irks me, the poor dappled fools, being native burghers of this desert city, should, in their own confines, have with forked heads, have their round horses gored.
Indeed, my lord, the melancholy Jakes grieves at that.
And swears you do more usurp than doth your brother that hath banished you.
Today, my lord of Amiens and myself did steal behind him as he lay along under an oak, whose antique root peeps out upon the brook that brawls along this wood. To the which place a poor sequestered stag that from the hunter's aim had ta'en a hurt did come to languish.
But what said Jakes? Did he not moralize the spectacle?
Oh yes, into 1,000 similes.
Aye, quoth Jakes. 'Tis right, quoth he, thus misery doth part the flux of company.
And anon a careless herd full of the pasture jumps along by him and stays not to greet him.
Aye, quoth Jakes, sweep on, you fat and greasy citizens, 'tis just the fashion. Wherefore do you look upon that poor and broken bankrupt there?
Thus most invectively he doth pierce through country, city, court.
Yea, and of this our lives swearing that we are mere usurpers, tyrants, and what's worse, to fright the animals and to kill them up And they're assigned and native dwelling places?
Show me the place. I love to cope him in these sullen fits, for then he's full of matter.
I'll bring you to him straight.
Can it be possible that no man saw them?
Your daughter and her cousin much commend the parts and graces of the wrestler that did lately foil the sinewy Charles. That youth is surely in their company.
Send to his brother. Fetch that gallant hither. If he be absent, bring his brother to me. I'll make him find him. Do this suddenly.
Who's there?
What? My young master? Oh, you memory of old Sir Rowan. Why? What make you here? Oh, what a world is this?
Why, what's the matter?
Oh, unhappy youth, your brother hath heard your praises, and this night he means to burn the lodging where you used to lie, and you within it.
Why, whither, Adam, wouldst thou have me go?
No matter whither, so you come not here. I have 500 crowns. Here's the gold. All this I give to you. Let me be your servant. Though I look old, yet I am strong and lusty.
Oh, good old man, how well in thee appears the constant service of the antique world. But, poor old man, thou prunest the rotten tree that cannot so much as a blossom yield. But, come thy ways, we'll go along together.
Go on, master, and I will follow thee to the last gasp with truth and loyalty.
Oh, Jupiter, how weary are my spirits!
I care not for my spirit, and my legs were not weary.
I pray you bear with me, I cannot go no further. Well, this is the forest of Arden.
Now am I in Arden. The more fool I. When I was at home, I was in a better place. But travelers must be content.
I be so good, Touchstone. But look, who comes here? A young man and an old in solemn talk.
That is the way to make her scorn you still.
Oh, Corin, that thou knowest how much I do love her.
I partly guess, for I have loved ere now.
No, Corin, no. Being old, thou canst not guess. Though in thy youth thou wast as true a lover. How many actions most ridiculous hast thou been drawn to by thy fantasy?
Into 1,000 that I have forgotten.
Oh, Phoebe! Phoebe!
My legs were not weary.
I pray you bear with me, I cannot go no further. Well, this is the forest of Arden.
Now am I in Arden. The more fool I. When I was at home, I was in a better place. But travelers must be content.
I be so good, Touchstone. But look, who comes here? A young man and an old in solemn talk.
That is the way to make her scorn you still.
Oh, Corin, that thou knowest how much I do love her.
I partly guess, for I have loved ere now.
No, Corin, no. Being old, thou canst not guess. Though in thy youth thou wast as true a lover. How many actions most ridiculous hast thou been drawn to by thy fantasy?
Into 1,000 that I have forgotten.
Oh, Phoebe! Phoebe! Phoebe!
Oh, alas, poor shepherd. Searching of thy wound, I have by hard adventure found mine own.
And I mine. I remember when I was in love. I broke my sword upon a stone and bid him take that. There coming a night to Jane's smile. And I remember the kissing of her backlet and of the cow's dugs that her pretty chopped hands had do. And I remember the wooing of a peas cod instead of her, from whom I took 2 cods, and giving her them again, said with weeping tears, "Wear these for my sake." We that are true lovers run into strange capers. But as all is mortal in nature, so is all nature mortal in love and folly.
Thou speakest wiser than thou knowest.
I pray you, one of you, question yond man, if he for gold will give us any food. I faint almost to death.
Hola, you clown!
Peace, fool, he's not thy kinsman.
Calls, you're better, sir. Else are they very wretched.
I prithee, shepherd, if that love or gold can in this desert place buy entertainment, take us to where we can rest ourselves and feed.
I am shepherd to another man, and do not shear the fleeces that I graze. Besides, his coat, his flocks, and bounds of feed are now on sale, and in our sheepcote now there is nothing that you will feed on. But what is, come see, and in my voice most welcome shall you be.
I prithee, if it stand with honesty, buy thou the cottage, the pasture, and the flock, and you shall have of us to pay for it.
Assuredly the thing is to be sold. Go with me, if you like, upon report, the soil, the profit, and this kind of life. I will your very faithful feeder be, and buy it with your gold right suddenly.
Oh, good. Come, sister, let us go.
Under the greenwood tree, who loves to lie with me and turn his merry note unto the sweet bird's throat. Come hither, come hither, come hither, here shall he see no enemy but winter and rough weather.
More, I prithee more.
It will just make you melancholy, Monsieur Jake.
I thank it. More, I prithee more. I can suck melancholy out of a song as a weasel sucks eggs. More, I prithee, more.
Well, I'll end the song. The Duke will drink under this tree. He hath been all this day to look you.
And I have been all this day to avoid him. Come, Warble, come.
Who doth ambition shun and loves to live in the sun, seeking the food he eats and pleased with what he gets. Come hither, come hither, come hither, come hither, you shall not me but winter and rough weather. I'll go see the Duke. His banquet is prepared.
Oh, dear master, I can go no further. Oh, I die for food. Here lie I down and measure out my grave. Farewell, kind master.
How now, Adam? No greater heart in thee? Live a little, comfort a little, cheer thyself a little. If this uncouth forest yields anything savage, I will either be food for it, or bring it as food for thee. Come, I will bear thee to some shelter. Cheerly good, Adam.
I think he be transformed into a beast, for I can nowhere find him as a man. Seek him out. Tell him I would speak with him.
He saves my labor by his own approach.
Why, how now, monsieur? What a life is this that your poor friends must woo your company? What? You look merrily?
A fool, a fool. I met a fool in the forest, a motley fool, who laid him down and basked him in the sun and railed on Lady Fortune in good terms.
What fool is this?
Oh, worthy fool, one that hath been a courtier, and in his brain is as dry as the remainder biscuit after a voyage. Oh, that I were a fool. I am ambitious for a motley coat.
Thou shalt have one.
It is my only suit. Invest me in my motley. Give me leave to speak my mind, and I will, through and through, cleanse the foul body of the infected world.
Fly on thee, I could tell what thou wouldst do.
What for a counter would I do but good?
Most mischievous foul sin in chiding sin. For thou thyself hast been a libertine, as sensual as a brutish thing itself.
But who comes here? Forbear!
And eat no more.
But I have ate none yet.
Nor shalt not till necessity be served.
Art thou thus boldened, man, by thy distress, or else a rude despiser of good manners, that in civility thou seemst so empty?
Touch my vein at first. The thorny point of bare necessity hath taken my show of smooth civility. But forbear, I say, he dies that touches any of this food, till I and my affairs are answered.
What would you have? Your gentleness shall force more than your force move us to gentleness.
I almost die for food, and let me have it.
Sit you down and feed, and welcome to our table.
Speak you so gently? Pardon me, I pray you. I thought all things had been savage here. But whatever you are that dwell in this desert inaccessible, if ever you have looked on better days, let gentleness my strong enforcement be, into which hope I blush and hide my sword.
True is it that we have seen better days, and therefore sit you down in gentleness, and take upon command what help we have, that to your wanting may be ministered.
Then but forbear your food a little while. There is an old poor man that after me hath many a weary step lived to pure love, till he be first sufficed, oppressed by two weak evils, age and hunger. I will not touch a bit.
Go seek him out.
I thank ye. And be blessed for your good comfort.
Thou seest, we are not all alone unhappy. This wide and universal theater presents more woeful pageants than the scene wherein we play it.
All the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players. They have their exits and their entrances, and one man in his time plays many parts, his acts being 7 ages. At first, the infant, mewling and puking in the nurse's arms. And then the whining schoolboy, with his satchel and smiling morning face, creeping like snail unwillingly to school. And then the lover, sighing like furnace, with a woeful ballad made to his mistress's eyebrow. And then the soldier, with eyes and full of strange oaths and bearded like the pard, jealous in honor and sudden and quicken quarrel, seeking the bubble reputation even in the cannon's mouth. And then the justice, in fair round belly, with good capon lined, with eyes severe and beard of formal cut, full of wise saws and modern instances. And so he plays his part. The sixth age shifts into the lean and slippered pantaloon with spectacles on nose and pouch. On side is shrunken sack. His youthful hose.
Well saved.
His useful hose well saved, a world too wide for his shrunk shank, and his big manly voice, turning again toward childish treble, pipes and whistles in his sound. Last scene of all that ends this strange eventful history is second childishness in mere oblivion, sans teeth, sans eyes, sans taste, sans everything.
Welcome. Set down your venerable burden and let him feed. Give us some music and, good cousin, sing.
Blow, blow the winter wind, thou art not so unkind. Thou art not so unkind as man's ingratitude. Thy tooth is not so keen because thou art not seen. Thy tooth is not so keen because thou art not seen. Although thy breath be rude, although thy breath be rude, although thy breath be rude. Hail, sing hail unto the green holly, most friendship is feigning rude, although thy breath be rude. Hail, sing hail unto the green holly, most friendship is feigning, most loving mere folly. Then hey ho the holly, this life is most jolly. Then hey ho the holly, this life is most jolly.
Good old man, thou art right welcome. Right. As thy master is. Give me your hand, and let me all your fortunes understand.
Not see him since? Sir, sir, that cannot be. Find out thy brother, wheresoe'er he is. Seek him with candle. Bring him dead or living within this 12-month, or turn you no more to seek a living in our territory.
Oh, that your highness knew my heart in this. I never loved my brother in my life.
Ha! More villain now. Well, push him out of doors. Do this expediently and turn him going.
Hang there my verse in witness of my love. O Rosalind, these trees shall be my books, and in their barks my thoughts I'll character. Run, run, Orlando, carve on every tree the fair, the chaste, and unexpressive she.
And how like you this shepherd's life, Master Touchstone?
Truly, shepherd, in respect of itself, tis a good life. But in respect it's a shepherd's life, it's not. As it is a spare life, look you, it fits my humor well. But as there's no more plenty in it, it goes much against my stomach. But hast any philosophy in thee, shepherd?
No more but that I know, the more one sickens, the worse it easy is. That he that wants money, means, and content is without 3 good friends. And
that a great cause of the night is lack of the sun. That he that hath learned no wit by nature nor art may complain of good breeding or comes of a very dull kindred.
Such a one is a natural philosopher. Was never in court, shepherd?
No, truly.
Ah! Then thou art damned.
Nay, I hope.
Nay, truly, thou art damned like an ill-roasted egg.
For not being at court. Your reason.
Right. If thou never wast in court, thou never sawest good manners. If thou never sawest good manners, then thy manners must be wicked. And wickedness is sin, and sin is damnation. Thou art in a parlous state, shepherd.
You have too courtly a wit for me. I'll rest.
Oh, wilt thou rest, damned? God help thee, shallow man.
Sir, I am a true laborer. I earn that I eat, get that I wear. Owe no man hate, envy no man's happiness, and the greatest of my pride is to see my ewes graze and my lambs suck. Here comes young Master Ganymede, my new mistress's brother.
From the east to western in, no jewel is like Rosalind. Her worth being mounted on the wind, through all the world bear Rosalind. Let no fair be kept in mind, except the fair of Rosalind.
I'll rhyme you. So 8 years together, dinners and suppers and sleeping times accepted.
Oh, out for.
For a taste. If a hart do lack a hind, let him seek out Rosaline. If a cat will after kind, so be sure will Rosaline. This is a very false gallop of verses. Why do you infect yourself with them?
Oh, peace, fool. I found them on a tree. But here comes my sister. Read it. Stand aside.
Tongues I'll hang on every tree that shall civil saying show. Thus Rosalind of many parts by heavenly synod was devised, of many faces, eyes, and hearts, to have the touches dearest prized. Heaven would that she these gifts should have, and I to live and die her Slav.
Come, shepherd, let us make an honorable retreat.
Didst thou hear these verses?
I heard them all, and more too.
But didst thou hear without wondering how thy name should be hanged and carved upon these trees? Try who hath done this.
Is it a man?
And a chain that you once wore about his neck.
Well, I prithee who? Nay, who is it? Tell me who it is!
Oh, wonderful, wonderful, and most wonderful, wonderful, and yet again, wonderful. And after that, out of all whooping.
Good my complexion. Dost thou think that because I'm comparisoned like a man, I have a doublet and hose in my disposition? I prithee, tell me who it is, and speak quickly. Take the cork out of thy mouth, that I may drink thy tidings. What manner of man is he? What, is he of God's making? Is his head worth a hat and his chin worth a beard?
Nay, he hath but little beard. It is young Orlando that tripped up the wrestler's heels and your heart, both in an instant.
Orlando!
If faith, 'cause 'tis he.
Oh! Oh, alas the day. What shall I do with my doublet and hose? Oh, what did he when thou sawest him? How looked he? What said he? Did he ask for me? Where remains he? How parted he with thee? When are you going to see him again? Speak in one word, tell me.
I found him under a tree like a dropped acorn.
Oh, it may well be called Jove's tree if it drops forth such fruit. Proceed.
There lay he stretched along like a wounded knight.
That would be a pity to see such a sight. It well becomes the ground. Oh, speak, sweet, stay on.
You bring me out. Soft, comes he not here?
Oh, 'tis he. Slink by and note him.
I thank you for your company, but I had as lief have been myself alone. God be with you. Let's not meet again.
I do desire we may be better strangers.
I pray you mar no more trees with writing love songs in their barks.
I pray you mar no more of my verses with reading them ill-favoredly.
Rosalind is your true love's name?
Yeah. Yes, just.
I do not like the name.
There was no thought of pleasing you when she was christened.
What stature is she of?
Just as high as my heart.
Oh, you are full of pretty answers. I'll tarry no longer with you. Farewell, good Signor Love.
I am glad of your departure. Adieu, good monsieur. Melancholy.
Do you hear, Forrester?
Very well. What would you?
Well, I pray you, what is the clock?
You should ask me what time of day. There's no clock in the forest. Where dwell you, pretty youth?
With this shepherdess, my sister, here in the skirts of the forest, like a fringe upon a petticoat.
Are you native to this place? Your accent is something finer than could be purchased and so removed a dwelling.
I've been told so of many, but indeed, an old religious uncle of mine taught me how to speak. One who knew courtship too well, for there he fell in love. I've heard him read many lectures against it. But I thank God I am not a man, to be touched by so many giddy offenses as he has taxed their whole sex withal.
Oh, can you remember any of the principal evils he laid to the charge of women?
There were none principal. They were all like one another as halfpence are, with each one fault seeming monstrous, till its fellow fault came to match it.
I prithee recount some of them.
I would not cast away my physic, but on those that are sick. But there is a man haunts the forest, who abuses our young plants by carving Rosalind on their barks, hangs odes upon elegies, and more upon brambles, all forsooth deifying the name of Rosalind. If I could find that fancy monger, I'd give him some good counsel, for he seems to have the quotidian of love upon him.
I am he that is so love-shaped. I pray you, tell me your remedy.
There are none of my uncle's marks about you. No. He taught me how to recognize a man in love. In which cage of rushes, I am sure you are not a prisoner.
Oh, what were his marks?
Well, a lean cheek, which you have not. A blue eye and sunken, which you have not. A beard neglected, which you have not. But I forgive you for that, for simply your having in beard is a younger brother's revenue. Then, your hose should be ungartered, your sleeve unbuttoned, your shoes untied, and everything about you showing a careless desolation. But you are no such man. You are rather point device in your accoutrements, as if loving yourself more than seeming the lover of any other.
Fair youth, I would I could make thee believe I love.
Me believe it. You may as soon make her that you love believe it, which I warrant she is apter to do than confess she does, for that is one of the points in which women still give the lie to their consciences. But are you he that hangs the verses on the trees, wherein Rosalind is so admired?
I swear to thee, youth, by the white hand of Rosalind, I am that he, that unfortunate he.
Love is merely a madness, and deserves as much a dark house and whip as madmen do. But the reason that they are not so punished and cured is that the lunacy is so ordinary, the whippers are in love too. But I profess curing it by counsel.
Did you ever cure any so?
Yes, one, and in this way. He was to imagine me, his love, his mistress, and I bade him come every day to woo me. At which time would I, being but a moonish youth,
Grieve, be effeminate, changeable, longing and liking, proud, fantastical, apish, shallow, inconstant, full of tears, full of smiles, for every passion something, and for no passion truly anything. Would then like him, then love him, then entertain him, then forswear him, then weep with him, then spit at him, till I drave my suitor from a mad humor of love to a living humor of madness, which was to live in a nook merely monastic. And thus I cured him.
I would not be cured, youth.
Oh, I would cure you if you would but call me Rosalind and come every day to my cote to woo me.
Now, by the faith of my love, I will. Tell me where it is.
Will you go?
With all my heart, good youth.
Nay, you must call me Rosalind. Will you go, sister?
How, Audrey? Am I the man yet? Doth my simple feature content you?
Your features? Lord warrant us, what features?
I would the gods had made thee poetical. Truly I do. For thou swearest that thou art honest. Now, if thou were a poet, I might have some hope that thou didst fame.
Would you not have me honest?
No, truly, unless thou wert hard favored. For honesty coupled with beauty is to have honey the sauce to sugar.
A material fool?
Well, I am not fair, but I thank the gods I am honest.
To cast away honesty upon a foul slut is to put good meat into an unclean dish.
I am not a slut, but I thank the gods I am foul.
Well, praised be the gods for thy foulness. Sluttishness may come hereafter. But be it as it may be, I will marry thee, and to that end I have been with Sir Oliver Martex, the vicar of the next village, who had promised to meet me in this place of the forest and to couple us.
I fain would see this meeting.
Well, the gods give us joy.
Amen. A man may, if he were of a fearful heart, stagger in this attempt. For here we have no temple but the woods, no assembly but horn beasts. Oh, here comes Sir Oliver. Sir Oliver Martex, you are well met. Will you dispatch us here under this tree, or shall we go with you to your chapel?
Is there none here to give the woman?
I will not take her on gift of any man.
Truly, she must be given, or to marry you is not lawful.
Proceed, proceed. I'll give her.
Good even, good master. What you call it? You are very well met. How do you, sir?
Would you be married, Motley?
As the ox has his bow, sir, the horse his curb, and the falcon her bells, so man as his desires. And his pigeon's bill, wedlock would be nibbling.
And would you, being a man of your breeding, be married under a bush like a beggar? Get you to church, man, and have a good priest that can tell you what marriage is.
I am not in the mind, but I would be better to be married of him than of another. For he is not like to marry me well. And not being well married will be a good excuse for me hereafter to leave my wife. Come, sweet Audrey, we must be married, or we must live in bawdry. Farewell, good Master Oliver. I will not to wedding with thee.
'Tis no matter. Ne'er a fantastic knave of them all shall flow me out of my calling.
Never talk to me. I will weep.
Do, I prithee, but yet have the grace to consider that tears do not become a man.
No, but he said he would come this morning, and he comes not.
Nay, certainly there is no truth in him.
Think not? Not true in love?
Yes, when he is in, but I think he is not in.
Oh, but you have heard him swear downright he was. I met the Duke yesterday and had much question with him. He asked me of what parentage I was, and I said, as good as he. So he laughed and let me go. But why talk we of fathers when there's such a man as Orlando?
Oh, that's a brave man. He writes brave verses, speaks brave words, swears brave oaths, and breaks them bravely.
Mistress and master, you have often inquired after the shepherd who complained of love. If you will see a pageant truly played between the pale complexion of true love and the red glow of scorn and proud disdain, go hence a little, and I shall conduct you.
The sight of lovers feedeth those in love. Bring us to where we can see that sight. I'll prove a busy actor in their play.
Sweet Phoebe, do not scorn me. Do not, Phoebe. Say that you love me not, but say not so in bitterness.
I fly thee, for I would not injure thee.
Oh, dear Phoebe, if ever, and that ever might be near, you shall find in some fresh cheek the flower of fancy, then you shall know the wounds invisible that love's keen arrows make.
But till that time, come not thou near me, as till that time I shall not pity thee. And why, I pray you? Who might be your mother, that you insult, exult, and all at once, over the wretched? What? Though you have no beauty, must you therefore be proud and pitiless? Why? What is this? Why do you look at me? Odds little life, I think she means to tangle my eyes too. No, proud mistress, think not upon it. You, wretched shepherd, wherefore do you follow her? You are 1,000 times a properer man than she is a woman. 'Tis fools such as you that make the world full of ill-favored children. And you, proud mistress, know yourself. Fall on your knees and thank heaven, fasting, for a good man's love. For I'll tell you friendly in your ear, sell when you can, you are not for all markets. Sweet youth, I pray you, chide a year together. I had rather hear you chide than this man woo. I pray you, do not fall in love with me, for I'm falser than vows made in wine. Come, sister, will you go? Yes. Besides, I like you not.
Sweet Phoebe.
Huh? What sayest thou,
sweet Phoebe, pity me.
Why, I am sorry for thee, gentle Silvius. Silvius, the time was that I hated thee. And yet it is not that I bear thee love, but since thou canst talk of love so well, thy company, which erst was irksome to me, I will endure, and I'll employ thee too. But do not look for further recompense than thine own gladness that thou art employed.
I would think it a most plenteous crop to clean the broken ears after the man the main harvest reaps.
Knowest thou the youth that spoke to me erewhile?
Not very well, but I have met him often.
Think not I love him, though I ask for him. It is a pretty youth. Not very pretty. He'll make a proper man. He is not very tall, and yet for his years he is tall. There be some women, Silvius, have
they mocked him, would have gone near to fall in love with him. But I love him not, nor hate him not. And now I am remembered. He scorned at me. I marvel that I answered not again. I will write to him a very taunting letter, and thou shalt bear it. Wilt thou, Silvius?
Oh, Phoebe, with all my heart.
Oh, the matter is straight. I will write it, and the matter is in my head and in my heart. Go with me, Silvius.
Intermission. This is intermission.
Good day and happiness, dear Rosalind.
How now, Orlando? Where have you been all the while? You, a lover? And you serve me such another trick? Come in my sight, no more.
My fair Rosalind, I come within an hour of my promise.
Break an hour's promise in love? He that will break a minute into 1,000 parts and break but a part of the 1,000th part of a minute in a love affair? Well, it may be said of him that Cupid had clapped him over the shoulder, but I'll warrant him.
Pardon me, dear Rosalind.
Nay, and to be so tardy, come no more in my sight. I'd as lief be wooed of a snail.
Of a snail?
Yea, of a snail. For though he comes slowly, he carries his house on his head. A better jointure, I'll warrant, than you can make a woman. But come now. Woo me, woo me. I am in a holiday mood and inclined to consent. What would you say to me now? And I were your very, very Rosalind.
I would kiss before I spoke.
No nature better to speak first. Then when you were gravelled for lack of matter, you might take occasion to kiss. Very good orators, when they are out of matter, they spit. For lovers lacking God-warnest matter, the cleanliest shift is to kiss.
Well, how if the kiss be denied?
Why, then she puts you to entreaty, and there begins new matter. Am not I your Rosalind?
I take some joy to say you are, because I would be talking of her.
Well then, in her person, I say I will not have you.
Oh, then in mine own person I die.
Oh, nay, nay, die. Die by eternity. Poor world, chap one blood. Poor world is only 6,000 years old, and in all that time there is no man in his own person died of a love cause. Men have died from time to time. Worms have eaten them, but not for love.
I would not have my right Rosalind of this mind, because I protest her frown might kill me.
Nay, by this hand it will not kill a fly. And I will be your Rosalind in a more coming on disposition. Ask me what you will, and I will grant it.
Then love me, Rosalind.
Aye, that will I, Fridays and Saturdays and all.
And wilt thou have me?
Aye, and 20 such.
What sayest thou?
Art thou not good?
I hope so.
Why then? Can one desire too much of a good thing? Come, sister, you will be the priest and marry us. Take my hand, Orlando. What do you say, sister?
Pray thee, marry us.
I cannot say the words.
You must begin. Will you, Orlando?
Go to. Will you, Orlando, take to wife this Rosalind?
I will.
Aye, but when?
Why, now, as fast as she can marry us.
Then you must say, I take thee, Rosalind, to wife.
I take thee, Rosalind, to wife.
I might ask you for your commission, but I do take thee, Orlando, to husband. Now, tell me how long you will have her once you have possessed her.
Forever and a day.
Say the day without the ever. No, no, Orlando.
Men are April when they woo, but December when they wed, and maids are May when they are maids. But the sky changes when they are wives. I shall be as jealous of you as a Barbary cock pigeon for his hen, as clamorous as a parrot against the rain, as giddy in my desires as a monkey. I will weep for nothing, and I will do that when thou art disposed to be married, and I will laugh like a hyena, and that when thou art disposed to sleep.
But will my Rosalind do so?
By my faith, she will do as I do.
Oh, but she is wise.
Else she would not have the wit to do this. The wiser, the waywarder. Make the doors upon a woman's wit, and 'twill out the casement. Stop that, 'twill out the keyhole. Block that, 'twill fly over the smoke out the chimney.
A man that had a wife with such a wit, he might say, wit, whither wilt?
You might start that check for it till you met your wife's wit going to your neighbor's bed.
And what wit would have to excuse that?
Why, to say she came to seek you there. Oh, you will never take her without her answer unless you take her without her tongue. The woman who cannot make her husband's fault, her own fault into her husband's occasion, let her never nurse her child herself, for she will breed it like a fool.
For these 2 hours, Rosalind, I will leave thee.
Alack, I cannot spare thee 2 hours.
I must attend the Duke at dinner. By 2 o'clock, I will be with thee again.
Oh, go your ways, go your ways. I knew what you would prove. My friends told me as much, and I thought no less. It was that flattering tongue of yours won me. But now, 'tis but one cast away, and then come death. 2 o'clock is your hour?
Aye, sweet Rosalind.
You have simply misused our sex in your love prate. We must have your doublet and hose plucked over your head and show the world what the bird hath done to her own nest.
Oh, cuz, my pretty little cuz, that thou didst know how many fathom deep I am in love, but it cannot be sounded. My affection hath an unknown bottom like the Bay of Portugal.
Or rather, bottomless? That as fast as you pour affection in, it runs out.
It was a lover and his lass with a hey and a ho and a hey, noddy no, and a hey, noddy noddy no. That o'er the green cornfields did pass in springtime, in springtime, in springtime, the only pretty springtime, when birds do sing, hey, ding-a-ding-a-ding, ding-a-ding-a-ding, hey, ding-a-ding-a-ding. Sweet lovers love the spring in springtime. In springtime, the only pretty ring time, when birds do sing, ding-a-ding-a-ding, hey, ding-a-ding-a-ding, hey, ding-a-ding-a-ding. Sweet lovers love the spring. Yay!
How now? Is it not past 2 o'clock? And here much Orlando.
I warrant you, with pure heart and troubled brain, he hath ta'en his bow and arrows, and is gone forth to sleep. Oh, who comes here? Nobody.
My... Anyway, I'll take it. Gentle Phoebe bid me give you this. I know not the contents, but as I guess it bears an angry tenor, pardon me.
Patience herself would startle at this letter. She says I am not fair, that I lack manners. She calls me proud and says she could not love me were a man as rare as Phoenix. Odds my will, this is a letter of your own device. I say she did not invent this letter. This is a man's invention and a man's hand. Will you hear the letter?
So please you, for I have never heard it yet, but heard too much of Phoebe's cruelty.
What, did you ever hear such chiding? If the scorn in your bright eyne hath power to raise such love in mine, alas, in me what strange effect would they have in mild aspect?
Call you this chiding?
Alas, poor shepherd.
Do you pity him? No. He deserves no pity. Wilt thou have such a woman? What? To make of thee an instrument and play false strains upon thee? Well, make your way to her, for I can see that love hath made thee a tame snake. But say this to her: if she loves me, I charge her to love thee. Now,
Good morrow, fair ones. Pray you, if you know, where in the purlieus of this forest stands a sheepcote, fenced about with olive trees?
West of this place, down in the neighbor bottom. But at this hour, there's none within. The house doth keep itself.
Are not you the owner of this house I did inquire for?
It is no boast being asked to say we are.
Orlando doth commend it. And to that youth he calls his Rosalind, he sends this bloody napkin. Are you he?
I am? What must we understand by this?
Some of my shame, if you will know of me what man I am, and how and why and where this handkerchief was stained.
I pray you tell it.
When last the young Orlando parted from you, he left a promise to return again within an hour. And pacing through the forest, lo, what befell? A wretched, ragged man, o'ergrown with hair, lay sleeping on his back. A lioness, with udders all drawn dry, lay couching, head on ground with cat-like watch, when that the sleeping man should stir. For 'tis the royal disposition of that beast to prey on nothing that doth seem as dead. This seen, Orlando did approach the man and found it was his brother, his elder brother.
Oh, I have heard him speak of that same brother, and he did render him the most unnatural that lived amongst men.
And well he might so do.
But to Orlando, did he leave him there? Food for the sucked and hungry lioness?
Twice did he turn his back and purposed so, but kindness, nobler ever than revenge, made him give battle to the lioness, who quickly fell before him, in which, hurtling from miserable slumber, I awaked.
Are you his brother?
Was you he rescued?
Was you that did so oft contrive to kill him?
'Twas I, but 'tis not I. I do not shame to tell you what I was, since my conversion so sweetly tastes, being the thing I am.
But the bloody napkin.
In brief, he led me to the gentle Duke, who gave me fresh array and entertainment, committing me unto my brother's love, who led me instantly unto his cave, there stripped himself, and here upon his arm the lioness had torn some flesh away, which all this while had bled, and now he fainted, and cried in fainting upon Rosalind. Brief, I recovered him, bound up his wound. He sent me hither, stranger as I am, to tell this story that you might excuse his broken.
Why, how now, Ganymede, sweet Ganymede.
Many will swoon when they do look on blood.
There is more in it. Cousin Ganymede.
Look, he recovers. Be of good cheer, youth. You, a man, you lack a man's heart.
I do so. I confess it. Sarah, one would think that was well counterfeited. Tell your brother how I counterfeited to swoon. Hi-ho!
This was not counterfeit. There is too great testimony in your complexion. that it was a passion of earnest.
Come, you look paler and paler. Pray you, draw homewards. Good sir, go with us.
We shall find a time, Audrey. Patience, gentle Audrey. Good evening, Audrey.
God, good evening, William.
And good evening to you, sir. Good evening, gentle neighbor. Come in thy head, neighbor. Thee be covered. Is thy name William?
William, sir.
Art thou wise?
I have a pretty wit.
Thou sayest well. I do remember now a saying. The fool doth think he is wise, but the wise man knows himself to be a fool. You do love this maid?
I do,
I
sir.
give me thy hand. Art thou learned?
No, sir.
Then learn this of me, for I am he.
Which he, sir?
He that must marry this woman. Therefore, you clown, abandon the society of this female or clown, thou perishest. Or to wit, I kill thee, make thee away, translate thy life into death, thy liberty into bondage. I will kill thee 150 ways. And therefore, tremble and depart.
God rest you merry, sir.
Trip, Audrey! Trip, Audrey!
Is it possible that on so little acquaintance you should like her, that but seeing you should love her?
All not the giddiness of it in question, it shall be to your good. For my father's house and all the revenue that was old Sir Roland's will I estate upon you, and here live and die a shepherd.
Let your wedding be tomorrow. Thither will I invite the Duke and all his contented followers. Go you and prepare Aliana for, oh, look you, here comes my Rosalind.
God save you, brother.
And you, fair sister.
Oh, Orlando, it grieves me to see you wearing your heart in a scarf.
It is my arm.
Did your brother tell you how well I counterfeited to swoon when he showed me your handkerchief?
And greater wonders than that.
Ah, I see where you are. Nay, 'tis true, there was never anything so sudden. Your brother and my sister, they no sooner met, but they looked. No sooner looked, but they loved. They are in the very wrath of love. They will together. Clubs cannot separate them.
They shall be married tomorrow, and I will bid the Duke to the nuptial. But oh, how bitter a thing it is to look into happiness through another man's eyes.
Why then, tomorrow, I cannot serve your turn as Rosalind.
I can live no longer by thinking.
I will weary you then no longer with idle talking. Believe then, if you please, that I can do strange things. I have, since I was 3-year-old, conversed with a magician, most profound in his art, but yet not damnable. If you do so love Rosalind, so near to the heart as your very gesture cries it out, tomorrow, when your brother marries Aliana, shall you marry her.
Speakest thou in sober meanings?
By my life I do, which I tender most dearly, though I say I am a magician. So, put you in your best array, bid your friends. If you will be married tomorrow, you shall, and to Rosalind, if you will. Look, here here comes a lover of mine and a lover of hers.
Youth, you have done me much of gentleness to show the letter that I writ to you.
I care not if I have. It is my study to seem despiteful and ungentle to you. You are followed there by a faithful shepherd. Look upon him. Love him. He worships you.
Good shepherd, tell this youth what 'tis to love.
It is to be all made of sighs and tears, and so am I for Phoebe.
And I for Ganymede.
And I for Rosalind.
And so am I for no woman.
Ah, it is to be all made of faith and service, and so am I for Phoebe.
And I for Ganymede.
And I for Rosalind.
And I for no woman.
It is to be all made of fantasy and passion and wishes and all faith, all truth, all beauty, and so am I for Phoebe.
And so am I for Ganymede.
And so am I for Rosalind.
And so am I for no woman.
If this be so, why blame you me to love you?
If this be so, why blame you me to love you?
If this be so, why blame you me to love you?
Who do you speak to? Why blame you me to love you?
Her that is not here, nor doth not hear.
Enough of this, I pray you. 'Tis like the howling of Irish wolves against the moon. I will help you if I can. I would love you if I could. Tomorrow, meet all together. I will marry you if ever I marry woman. I will satisfy you if ever I satisfy man, and you shall be married tomorrow. I will content you if what pleases you contents you, and you shall be married tomorrow. As you love Rosalind, meet. As you love Phoebe, meet. As I love no woman, I'll meet. Fare thee all well. I have given you commands.
I'll not fail if I live.
Nor I.
Nor I.
Yay.
Tomorrow is a joyful day, Audrey. Tomorrow shall we be married.
I do desire it with all my heart, and I hope it is no dishonest desire to be a woman of the world.
Dost thou believe, Orlando, that the boy can do all this that he has promised?
I sometimes do believe and sometimes do not.
Patience once more, while our compact is urged. You say, if I bring your Rosalind, you will bestow her on Orlando here?
That would I, and I kingdoms to give her.
And you say, if you will have Rosalind when I bring her?
That would I if I were of all kingdoms king.
And you say you will marry me if I am willing?
Oh, that will I, should I die the hour after.
But if you do refuse to marry me, you will give yourself to this most faithful shepherd.
So is the bargain.
And you will have Phoebe if she be willing?
Well, although to have her and death were both one thing.
I have promised to make all this matter even. Keep you your word. From hence I go to make these doubts all even.
I do remember in this shepherd boy some lively touches of my daughter's fancy.
My lord, the first time that I ever saw him, methought he was a brother to your daughter.
There is sure another flood toward, and these couples are coming to the ark. Here come a pair of very strange beasts, which in all tongues are called fools.
Greeting and salutation to you all.
Good my lord, bid him welcome. This is the motley-minded gentleman I have so often met in the forest. He hath been a courtier. He swears.
I've had 4 quarrels, and like to have fought one.
Oh, I like him very well.
I press in here, sir, amongst the rest of the country copulatives, to swear and to forswear, as marriage binds and blood breaks, a poor virgin, sir, an ill-favored thing, sir, but mine own.
Why, my faith is very swift and sententious.
Thou that body more seeming already.
Is this not a rare fellow, my lord? He's as good at anything, and yet he is a fool.
He uses his folly as a stalking horse, and under presentation of that, he shoots his wit.
To you I give myself, for I am yours.
If there be truth in sight, thou art my daughter.
To you I give myself, for I am yours.
If there be truth in sight, you are my Rosalind.
If sight and shape be true, why then my love adieu. Oh.
I'll have no father if you be not he. I'll have no husband if you be not he. Nor ne'er wed woman if you be not she.
Oh, my dear daughter, welcome thou art to me.
I will not eat my word. Now thou art mine. Thy faith, my fancy, thee doth combine.
Let me have audience for a word or two that bring these tidings to this fair assembly. Duke Frederick, hearing how that every day men of great worth resorted to this forest, addressed a mighty power, purposely to take his brother here and put him to the sword. And to the skirts of this wild wood he came, where meeting with an old religious man, was converted, both from his enterprise and from the world, his crown bequeathing to his banished brother, and all their lands restored to them again that were with him exiled.
Welcome, young man. First, in this forest, let us do those ends that were here well begun and well begotten. And after, every of this happy number that have endured shrewd days and nights with us shall share the good of our returned fortune.
Sir, if I heard you rightly, the Duke hath put on a religious life and thrown into neglect the pompous court?
He hath.
To him will I. Out of these convertites there is much matter to be heard and learned. You to your former honor I bequeath, your patience and your virtue both deserves it. You to a love your true faith doth merit. You to your land and love and great allies. You to a long and well-deserved bed. And you to wrangling, for your loving voyage is but for 2 months victualled. So do your pleasures, I am for other than for dancing measures.
Stay, Jake, stay.
To see no pastime I, what you would have, I'll stay to know in your abandoned cave.
Proceed, proceed. We will begin these rites as I do trust they'll end, in true delight.
Yay!
The applause goes on.
I'm waiting for the music.